Harry, Jeff, and I didn't hear Al, but good morning to you, Al. See, you're there, so perfect. So over to Bob, W1GTH, and the AM carrier PreNet. This is N1VIV. Bob, you'll send it to Steve, P2FW.
N1VIV, this is W1GTH Bob in Walcott, Connecticut, and good morning all. I heard you break in the first time there, Joe, and heard everybody so far. Actually even got the list right, which is unusual for me because I'm just rolling out of the sack here at just before the PreNet starts, and so we got about 53 degrees here, which is a little on the cool side, and but it looks like a great day out there, and I'm running around here making a little breakfast for myself with some low-fat oatmeal and a slice of whole wheat toast, and maybe get some decaf coffee going before the net starts here. So anyhow, yeah, I heard my friend Steve in there, so hopefully he's got something more to say than me because he's probably more ready than I am. But K2FW, this is W1GTH, and we'll be prepared for the net when it starts. Back over to you, Steve.
Joe, did you get the breaker?
Yeah, there was Chris in there, AJ1G, and then I think I may have heard Greg trying to come back in, but we have Greg. I've got you, Greg. KE1MI. Was that you, Greg?
Yeah, Joe, I didn't know what you got me, so okay. Thank you.
Okay, perfect, yeah, and then we've got Chris down the street, AJ1G. Excellent. Good morning, Chris, and we've got you there, Greg. No trouble. Got you in there. So, yes, so let's get it back to you there, Steve. Good morning. And I guess I can't, I just want to pause momentarily and say I agree with Terry's sentiment that find some opportunities to pray for better everything across the board. Agreed, Terry. You said it better than I ever could for them. So a little too foggy, but I agree with what you shared, that's for sure. K2FW, how are you, Steve? This is N1VIV.
Alrighty. Just trying to boost the grid drive up here on the ICO transmitter. Yeah, very good. Good morning to everyone on the AM carrier net. PreNet, we only have about 3 or 4 minutes here, so I won't belabor the point too long. Bob, I wanted to thank you for that email with Unchained Melody. That was a very, very young Righteous Brothers singing that song. Just a wonderful, wonderful song. Of course, only us old guys remember that. So, and as far as the virus is concerned, I keep a pretty close eye. Check on it. There's one really, really wonderful website that tracks it, and there are several countries now, more than one, probably about 5 or 6, that just about have it eliminated from their countries, and other than a handful, let's see, I think Brazil stands out as one that's still on a pretty big upswing. But I would say at this point 80 to 85% of the countries, including our country, it's on a fairly precipitous decline, both in active cases and daily deaths. Especially the daily deaths are dropping. Sometimes it looks like there's more and more cases all the time, but that's only because there's more testing going on. As far as the violence, I don't know if there's any really true, honest thing that you can be done until we start telling the truth. But we haven't been telling the truth about this stuff for 30 years. And I think a lot of people are living in fantasy worlds as to what really is happening, and more importantly, why. So I'll just leave it at that. Back to you, Joe. It's just about net time. N1VIV in the PreNet. K2 Fuzzy Wuzzy in southern New Jersey, where it's 61 degrees.
Yeah, very good, Steve. K2FW and the AM carrier. Freenet. This is N1VIV. Well, looks like we've got a minute and a half or so, maybe a minute left, so let's see. I guess I'll hold it and then get things started as soon as we kick to 8 o'clock here. So seems like, boy, when I got up and made coffee, it was really very brilliant sunshine pouring in from the east as usual, right? And seems like it's going to be quite a nice day. I got a text from my friend up in Springfield, and he might be listening or possibly checking into the net this morning. So we'll have to see how conditions are. He's, is running a Yaesu FT840, but I've been hearing him pretty well on sideband. Oh, and I was thinking, Steve, I keep forgetting to try to check into the sideband net, because I was not around this Friday, but there are some Fridays that I'm still around working from home, so I could pop in for a quick flyby. It seems like I listened one Friday morning, and it seemed like that was a lot of fun, so very good indeed. Well, I think we're in good shape here, so it's 8 a.m. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the AM Carrier Net. My name is Joe. My call is N1VIV, and I'm located in Stonington, Connecticut. The AM Carrier Net is here every Sunday morning here at 8 a.m. local time on 3835 here on the 75-meter band. The AM Carrier Net was established for the purpose of promoting and enjoying operations in the AM mode. It's a casual net, so there's no requirement to check in other than being able to operate in the AM mode. Certainly like to hear from new stations who might be just beginning to explore interest in operating AM, whether you're trying to resurrect an old boat anchor or maybe trying to get a more modern radio to sound good on AM. There's lots of folks here with experience to that end, so all are welcome. Please join in. We'll take check-ins, and we already have quite a broad Freenet check-in list. I don't think there's any reason to repeat that, because I think we've got everybody tied together and tucked in pretty well. So let's take additional check-ins for the net here now that we're ready to roll. So any other check-ins for the AM carrier net, please call now. This is N1VIV.
1SH. Good morning. WA2MER, and if you could quote me near the top, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, got a few check-ins there. Good morning to Bill up there in northeast Connecticut. We've got KD1S8. And we've got Jim, WA2MER. Good morning to you, Jim. Hearing you just fine, and we got you floated up to the top. No trouble at all. And then we had, I think it was November Yankee 2 Hotel. Here it is. List. Let's see if that's a station we've spoken to lately. I think that might be a new check-in. Unless, of course, maybe he checked in the last couple of weeks and I didn't make note of it. I'm not seeing it, so I've got November Yankee 2 Hotel. We'll quote him close to the top as well, or maybe right. Let's put Jim here. We'll put November Yankee 2 Hotel up at the top for introductions, and then Jim. Very good. Let's take another listen. Any other check-ins for the net? Any stations anywhere for the AM carrier net? Please call now. hotel here. Sounds quite good. You know. Let's give a listen, and if anybody hears anything else out there, any relays of any nature of any relays, feel free to jump in and let me know. Listening for additional check-ins. This is N1VIV.
Larry?
Yeah, good morning now.
Yeah, what was that last station? So full color.
Yeah, I think it was November Yankee 2 Hotel. November Yankee 2 Hotel. I believe I've got that right.
Thank you.
Okay. Very good. Well, no additional check-ins heard. So we can get things rolling, set up the location for round 1, and then of course if there's other check-ins at any point, don't hesitate, feel free to jump right in there. I'll give one more listen just in case there's any other stations, or we'll see if there's anybody else. Any other stations, any other check-ins for the AM carrier net, please call now. This is N1VIV. Okay, nothing heard. So, here's our rundown for round 1. I'll get started and make a few comments. I'm going to send it to who I believe is a new check-in for introductions. So that will be November Yankee 2 Hotel. Good morning to you, sir. My name is Joe, and I'm located in Stonington, Connecticut, just for introductions there. Then November Yankee 2 Hotel, we'll send it to Jim, WA2MER. WA2MER, we'll send it to Al, W1VTP. W1VTP, we'll send it to WA2RAS. NWA2RAS, we'll send it to Terry, W3MMR. W3MMR would send it down to Bruce, WX10. And WX10 we'll send it to Bob, W1GTH. W1GTH. We'll send it to Steve, K2FW. And K2FW will send it to Andy, WA2CDL. Good morning to you, Andy. Nice to hear you in here. WA2CDL would send it to Bud, K1LC. And K1LC would send it to Greg, KE1MI, down in Vermont. KE1MI would send it to Jerry, W1ZB. And W1ZB would send it to Steve, KB2NQN. KB2NQN will send it to Chris, AJ1G, right down the block here in Stonington. And AJ1G would send it to Bill, KD1SH. Bill, if there's any additional check-ins, we're going to tack them in after you. And if not, we'll come back up to the top of the list and have a go at round 2. If folks could let me know whether you're planning to stay for round 2, that would certainly be helpful. And I'll do my best to track that through the entirety of round 1, so that if folks who are staying for round 2, we can know who'll be staying and who'll be going. And of course, sometimes there'll be a maybe, which is just fine as well. So as I mentioned, just a gorgeous, beautiful, sunshiny day. And I think this will probably be the better of the 2 days. Although yesterday turned out quite nice. I was very surprised. It was supposed to be, rainy and stuff in the morning, and there was a little bit of cloud cover, but it cleared out fairly well. And I didn't get an awful lot done outside, but I'll probably have to get some stuff done outside today. And certainly enjoy being down here this morning for the net. We've had quite a nice turnout. I think we've got decent band conditions, but as we have anticipated, we're inching closer to that summer time mark where we have the earliest sunrise in the next couple of weeks. So I know conditions will probably degrade pretty quickly over the next hour or two, but then again, you never know. They may not, but we'll have to take what we can get. So let's move it on down the list for round one, and let's start with introductions of who I believe is a new check-in. And I apologize, sir, if you checked in before. I didn't have note of it, but we'll get all your particulars. November Yankee 2 Hotel. Over to you, sir, and then you'll send it to Jim, WA2MER. So November Yankee 2 Hotel in the AM carrier net. This is N1VIV.
WA2MER, Joe, do I have it?
Yeah, I think so. I was not able to copy any of that transmission.
And have contact that station.
Yeah, Joe, his name is Lou. His name is Lima, Oscar United. He was running an ICOM transceiver barefoot, so I guess he was putting out 20 or 25 watt carrier. And he's a friend of not quite normal Steve, NQN. Go back to you, Joe.
I appreciate it. I got my usual 9 o'clock to get around to that if I don't get on near the top. So I had a great day yesterday. Good and not so good. A good day to the point where I was able to start substantial work on the speech amplifier for the transmitter, which is a good thing. The bad thing is I've been using my 64 Buick the last few days. And yesterday when I backed out of the garage, it's vomiting fuel out of the vent. And I've had that problem before. I've not been able to fix it, so I'm assuming that whatever, the float level is right, the needle feeder, all that, right? Okay, so I'm assuming it's beyond my skill level, so I'm going to send it out and get it done once and for all so I can get the car back on the road and not have to worry about issues like that. Let's see, a couple other comments here. Perry, I had a conversation with your dad a few days ago on 3705. First time in a long time. I suppose it was a very pleasant conversation, so we have a lot in common. It's good to hear him again. and I wish I went on the air a little bit more often. And Andy, CDL, hopefully things are going okay with you guys at work. And nice to hear you back in here. Joe, I was reading the mail last week, and I learned that you had lost Callie, so let me take this time to express my condolences to you and your family on the loss of your cat. That's a tough thing, so it can be. So we're cat lovers here. We have 2 of them, and we've had dogs in the past, and it's a hard thing. So best wishes to you guys for that. Let's see. See you today. Got to put a new chain on the chainsaw, and then we're getting outside and taking down not taking down anything. I'm not going to chop any trees down. I've seen too many YouTube fail videos where people think they know what they're doing and they end up ruining something. No, we have some fallen trees in the back that need to be chopped up, but I broke a chain a couple of weeks ago, so finally got a replacement. I'll be doing that today. So don't expect to be doing anything of substance on the radio today. So that's about it from northwestern New Jersey. I will listen out as long as I can. I wish everybody a great week, 73. And it's your turn, Al. W1VTP. This is WA2MER.
Good morning, all. WA2VTP here. Rosie says hi. Say hi very loudly. So that's all you're going to get. She's been very quiet since she's become sick. She's not feeling well. And, so we're doing what we can as far as medication and that sort of thing. She's got asthma now, and also has issues with pancreatitis. I think I reported that last week. I'm trying to get my gauge to more aggressively, but something is not going to be done. So that's the deal. I'm trying to get my gauge to more aggressively, but something. I'm noticing a lot of people tuning up frequency, and especially they apparently think they're variable, or they think that's not going to bother anybody, but they have some real flexibility in receive systems with reference. It's very disturbing. The other one is people that the only way they can zero B dependent is to have full-on carrier power. It's a whole boot rig, especially. It's got to be a way to find out, find a way to have zero boot on the DFO. Which I thought, don't get angry with me and just making a suggestion that let's get a project to consider on your station. Consider, unless you're running a magnetic loop, there's no reason to be tuning up on frequency to that go up until you see it. Those of us with SDRs can usually take you out with the shifting of the EIF. Even the 590 is alternate oil. It showed up on the windowsill. Handsome bird. So we've got all kinds of birds out in the backyard. I have the first noise. Well, it's the season, but it's almost immediately now. Another creek after. So that's a good I gotta get a hold of that guy that has done it for me in the past, see if I can get him on the schedule. Last time I knew he'd broken a foot or something like that, and he fell off the roof. So, anyway, nothing exciting happening around here. I'm sorry to hear about how Kim took kind of an ignominious end. I don't want to make any suggestions or anything. I just say that I'm sorry that the whole episode turned into a fiasco and ended up with him not being able to enjoy his declining years around his friends and being able to go, transmit and receive and hear and so forth and so on. So it could have been a better way to go. But he's at rest now, so that's a good thing. So I think I turned it over to
noise level is really low today, which is nice. I did not have any copy at all on NY2H, which just goes to show you that Steve, K2FW, has really good. Anyway, as I mentioned on the pre-net, K6DPZ, Hal Goretsky, which had been a frequent check-in on this net a while back, has become a silent key, unfortunately. He died Thursday evening. He had been in a nursing home in Staten Island, and he was doing well up until about 3 weeks ago or so, or he was doing well 3 weeks ago, and then a week or so ago, he was coughing, and he had a stroke, and they put him in a hospital. He had a cerebral hemorrhage at the hospital, and recovered, and they were looking for a hospice to put him into, and he just the body just gave way Thursday evening. So K6DPZ, who is a very interesting character, to put it mildly, and a frequent check-in to this net, is unfortunately no longer with us. I'm on the Viking 2. And next week I should be back on my Latine radio, thanks to the efforts of Andy, WA2CDL. I was at his house yesterday, that porch. He diagnosed the low modulation problem on that transmitter perfectly. And worked his magic. Andy, to say Andy has a lot of parts is an understatement. The only one in Andy's league would have been on the cat front, the cat from hell. The suggestion was made that once the cat is fixed, to calm down. Well, the cat was fixed on Wednesday, and on Thursday, the cat jumped out a second-floor window at my daughter's house. The cat was fine. They always seem to have a but as far as calming down, no sign of that yet. Anyway, a nice list. This will be my only transmission. I'll be listening out.
All right, W2RAS. I'm carrying a W3MMR. All right. Real good there, Jeff. Real good transmission, real good copy on everyone except for Lou. NY2H. But anyway, good morning to you. Name here's Perry with a P. Running an Apache Labs and non-200D SDR. Transceiver into a Henry 3KD, classic amplifier, homebrew, balanced down network tuner, 600 ohm ladder line, fed 80 meter doublet up 65 feet is the operating conditions here. And good morning to everyone. Like I said, good signal to everyone really this morning. Yeah, no problem helping out this morning, Joe. I'm up and been sleeping in a little bit. I used to get up, like Steve was saying earlier, I used to get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning like my father, but I've been working a lot lately, 10-hour days, and getting up at 5 o'clock on work days and staring at the computer screen, and getting up earlier. I was getting up at 3:30, 4 o'clock on my days off because I could take a nap. And so lately I've been sleeping until 6:30 or so, and it's been feeling a little better throughout the day, so it's been nice. But anyway, running about 300 watts here this morning. Jim, yeah, my father mentioned he had spoken to you. He had spoken the other day, I guess later on that day after he spoken to you. And I caught the end of that cue, so I was listening on WebSDR, I think, at work. I caught the end of it there. So, yeah, real good on that. Glad you guys were able to catch up there. Not too much going on here for me today. I might cut the lawn. I'm thinking about it, or I might put it off until my next day off on Wednesday. Depends on how motivated I feel here a little bit. But anyway, for anybody that doesn't know, we are streaming, and all the AM carrier nets and everything I stream is also archived on YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and search the AM window, one word in YouTube, you'll see the live stream of the carrier net right now. You can go back and watch past AM carrier nets. I'm also on Twitch, twitch.tv/the AM window, and also on Facebook if we're friends on Facebook there. So that's the story on that. So with that being said, we'll keep it moving over to Bruce down on the Eastern Shore. And Joe, I may stick around for round two. We'll see. So I guess just keep me in the rotation. WX10, the AM carrier net, W3MMR.
Good morning there, Perry. Got a great signal down here on the eastern shore of Maryland in a little town called Princess Anne. Anne with an E on the end of it. And I'm about, I'm going to guess about 140 miles due south of you, Perry. In a week or two, I'm going to be several hundred miles north of you. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Bruce. I'm running Johnson Valley. Tamerlan HQ129X. I have a inverted V dipole, and those are the working conditions. Had a very interesting day yesterday. We have a neighbor who introduced me to a very surprising fact, and I'll tell you what that is. We live in a house that is in a historic district here in Princess Anne. As a matter of fact, we live in a house that a great-great-grandparent built for himself. And across the street lived another great-great-grandparent of mine, all of that on the mother's side. So yesterday, the resident of the house in the house across the street that formerly belonged to another great-great-grandparent, or the one I just mentioned, said, "Did you know that he was buried nearby?" And I said, "No." So we've been here for 6 years and did not know that great-great-grandparent and the male and the female were 1 block away, having been buried in the 1800s. So that was quite exciting to learn. We know some of the genealogy that's going on, but we did not. Not quite. 1 block away. So that was interesting. Also, heard cats mentioned. Sorry from the cat from hell, jumping out of the second-floor window, but we have a new resident here, a new member of the family. His name is Roy. Nice, young, well, he's not so young. He's about 10 or 12 years old. We adopted Roy from my daughter's house. No, they weren't getting along. We're getting along fabulously. And Roy has joined the family where Pumpkin was already a member. So they are now eating together, not off the same plate, almost, but things have quieted down, and it's a good experience. So that's the report from Princess Anne, Maryland, on the Eastern Shore. Up to Bob in Walcott, Connecticut, W1GTH WX10.
WX10 and the AM carrier group, W1GTH Bob in Walcott, Connecticut, and good morning all. And Al, I agree with you and about the tuner-uppers, and I can assure you that it's not me. I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with an ART-13, but this one is actually, I set it on 3835 and pretty much lately I haven't changed the frequency on it, but it's an amazing piece of equipment. It has 5 dials on the bottom there, and there are 10 programmable channels on it if you choose to do that. And if you switch from one to the other, all of the 5 dials start spinning in the counterclockwise direction, and then they stop, and then one by one they spin in the clockwise direction until they reach their proper settings. And so it's a Second World War piece of equipment, but anyway, so it's not me, Al, and all I do in the morning here on Sunday mornings is flip the big switch on the big power supply to it, and I'm in business. So anyhow, and so okay, yeah, and sorry to hear about Hal. K6 Dark Purple Zombie, as he used to identify himself, and he was quite a guy, and it's too bad that in his later years that he digressed. So is what it is, but he's probably in a better place now. So anyhow, yeah, and Steve, I went on YouTube and I saw this song by Bill Medley of the Righteous Brothers, and the Unchained Melody, and to me it was so impressive. And what I really appreciated was she's a black girl, probably in her 20s there, who was going to critique this song, and I guess that's what she does on YouTube. And anyway, so she listened to the song, and you could see her in the video there, and she was so blown away by it that she was actually speechless. And at the end she said that I guess at least music-wise I was brought up in the wrong generation, and it's kind of good to hear a millennial say something like that, because usually in my opinion they don't have much use for us old-timers. And I sent that to my class of 1955. We're actually going to have a reunion in October. We have one every 5 years, and we're all getting up. I'm 83. We're getting up to the age of where we're starting to lose a few, and I'm going to assume, hopefully I'm wrong, that within the next 5 years we're going to lose quite a bit of us, and maybe even me. Who knows? But anyhow, here's what it is. But I also made a comment that I would not switch my slot in history for anyone else's slot. I just think that we were so blessed to be brought up in the 50s, and especially music-wise, we had Elvis Presley, the Creedence Clearwater Revival, the Everly Brothers. I mean, the list goes on, and just the music that most young people aren't even aware of these days. And I was just so gratified that I was brought up in that area, and they took my first Social Security payment contribution, as you call it, out of my check when I was a sophomore in high school. So I have a little hard time with this spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on college. I was a tool time maker for the majority of my life, and I've been retired for a lot of years now. I retired since I was 62, and I could go out and get a job today at making pretty good money, because the trade is still in demand in this area here. So anyway, I'll get off of my soapbox here, and so that's the situation here, and I could hear everybody fairly well except the NY2H, and I looked him up, and he's down in Long Island someplace, but he needs to get a little more fire in the wire, I guess. So anyhow, I'm going to turn it over to my friend K2FW. Steve, I'm pretty sure you're hearing me, so take it away. This is W1GTH 73.
Yeah, real good, Bob. W1GTH in the AM carrier net from K2FW. Actually, your signal's down from what it usually is. I'm hearing some people better than usual, and then others that are usually strong are a little bit weaker. So it's that time of year. Yeah, that was a good soapbox you were just on, though, Bob, and I agree with a lot of what you said, obviously, and it's always hard to compare different eras to different eras, and but certainly there was a lot to like back then in the 50s, even the early 60s. It seemed when we got into the later 60s, a lot of bad things started to happen. But again, I'll leave that for another day. You could spend hours upon hours on that topic. Yeah, I found out the other day, actually Friday, on the Vintage Sideband that from Jeff that Hal had passed on, and I think it's sad that to echo Al's sentiments, it's sad that he wasn't able to spend his later years in peace and happiness. That's for darn sure. He was a character, no question about that, and I didn't know him anywhere closest, but I mean, I guess Jeff knew him better than anyone, but I did meet him. He came down here once. I sold him some a lot of equipment, actually, a lot of stuff that he wanted, and gave him great deals on everything. I mean, really cheap prices, but even then you could see he was a little bit different from most people. So but again, it's always sad to see a passing of someone that you knew. So hopefully, certainly pray he's in a better place today. I want to say hi to Rosie. Hi to Rosie. Al, I hope she's feeling better. I know you said she's still under the weather, and but you give her a great home, and hopefully she'll be better. And Joe, I wonder, with the passing of Callie, I wonder if you guys plan on getting another kitty in the future. Might comment on that. We have Patches here. Patches is about 3.5 years old now, and she was a rescue kitty, and she's doing very, very well. She runs around the house like a nut. She's a lot different from a lot of the other cats that we've had over years, and we've had a lot here, but she's a little bit different. Wanted to mention also, Joe, you brought up the Vintage Sideband net. I don't know if there is at present time another net that invites vintage, tube and early solid state equipment on a net for sideband. Obviously, there's lots of vintage equipment here on AM. I'm running all vacuum tube equipment here. But anyone who's interested, and that includes you, Joe, 8:30 in the morning on Friday, 8:30 Friday mornings on 3804. And I put a different transmitter on this past Friday. I used my 32S3. And that's the first time that's been on sideband in a very long time. It's used primarily, almost exclusively for CW. But it worked out okay. My biggest problem with the 32S3 is I don't have it slaved in transceive with the Collins receiver, so they're running a split, and that's always a problem. Zero repeating sometimes. Also, I wanted to point out that the June 14th will be, at least here in South Jersey, June 14th will be the earliest sunrise. After June 14th, the sun starts coming up a little bit later. We're still losing time, though, at night, which is why June 21st is the most daylight. So even though we're starting to pick up darkness in the morning, we're still losing it later at night. So the two don't run, coincide with each other, the evening and the morning. And I guess that's about it. I don't want to belabor too much. We have 16 check-ins this morning. Say hello to Lou, November Yankee 2 Hotel. Lou, I'm running a ICO 720 about 5.